Hey everybody, welcome back to Spoiled, the sequel show brought to you by Salad Brain. My name is John Boy.
I am Party Bear.
I'm Earthworm.
I'm Jack.
I'm haybale.
And today we're talking about a 2019 animated film that, who didn't see? It's Frozen 2. I'll tell you right now, fuck this. Fuck this.
Oh, no.
You're setting the
no.
tone.
Right now.
You're setting the tone.
I didn't like
It
it.
is the best movie I've ever seen.
I
God.
don't
It is-
know about the best movie, but I did enjoy
Animation,
this
I don't
movie.
know. It deserves awards beyond awards.
For what?
Did it
Okay,
get any awards?
hold on. Let me stop everyone real quick.
Changing my inside.
The only thing Haybale said, the only thing he noted was animation, and that's the only thing I'm going to give it as well. I don't know if anyone else is going to agree with me.
My rating score is about animation,
Yeah.
and it kind of stops there.
They did a great job with
The
animation.
story, there's so many little stories to follow,
Okay, so
and the comedic relief.
we're going to get to that.
Okay.
Let's talk about the story. Let's start from the
Yes.
beginning. Let's start from
Yes.
the beginning.
Are
Where?
you
Yeah,
not
yeah.
entertained?
That's
No,
Gladiator.
Yeah.
That's
What
a
film
great
did
movie.
you see? No wonder.
Did you watch my movie?
Yeah, Russell
Yeah.
Crowe was
Three times. I've watched this movie 3 times in the last 72 hours.
Oh
God,
my
I have
God.
watched it
So,
twice.
so then I think that's a perfect segue. Hey, Bill, you should tell us a little bit. Start from the beginning.
Yeah, you know the most.
Okay, so it starts off with you get more backstory on their parents and what happened.
Yeah.
And then
You have the father telling the children a very scary story right
Oh, it's
before
like-
bed.
yeah.
I murdered a
Yeah.
lot of people.
So I'm highly
Yeah.
impressed on how they have these horrifying stories and tragedies, but it's a kids movie and they could get away with it because that all the stuff they put is just like heart-wrenching,
It's
and it's a kids movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't really believe him. Like a father I don't think would tell like such
Okay,
a scary
I
story, and
think
then
they had to,
they
like-
wouldn't react to it. The kids,
and then he goes, no more questions.
yeah.
Yeah.
To,
Save your
like,
questions for tomorrow.
the
And the little
story a
girl's
little
like,
bit.
I can never do that. There's no way.
What was that, Heba?
I feel like they had to twist the story a little bit just so they could get you through the movie without you like finding out the answer. This is spoiled, so I'm gonna spoil the F out of this movie.
Do it.
So the father's like, I was saved, but I don't know how I was saved.
Yeah.
You find out in the end of the movie, but at no point does he ever say that like that was his wife. So like
Yeah.
you aren't
Yeah.
you just like have no idea. So you think later in the movie when you see this icicle thing that's her, or in like the recap of like the past,
Yeah.
they like show her like wisping in the wind and you're like, is she magical? What is going on? But then we realize they're just using Gale, that wind hoe that's just like
Gale.
lifting her around.
Whoa.
And Gale is the one that saves them, and it wasn't really the mom, but that's the mom in the story, and it like all comes together. There's so much foreshadowing in this movie.
Yeah.
Watching it again and again, you're like,
Well,
look at
yeah.
they just showed
John
it. They
Boy, John
pointed
Boy
it
wants
out.
to say something.
Oh, yeah.
Speak.
Okay.
I feel like this movie was made for it to be a musical on Broadway.
Oh,
I
my
can
God.
totally
Please
see it
cast
being
me as
like-
Olaf. I want to
Yeah.
be Olaf. Can I be Olaf?
Exactly. It's
Oh,
like
man.
these are
You
characters,
are
and there's
Olaf.
only 4 characters in the movie.
I'll even take
And you can-
Kristoff, that handsome dude. Oh,
I mean, they made
Even
Shrek.
Ryder.
They made Shrek
Oh.
as a musical.
Yeah.
true.
So
So they're
Yeah.
definitely going to try to
That-
publish
yeah.
this. That's
The-
what I think.
the
Because the
songs-
songs were very musical theater, very little chorus.
yeah, and
Oh,
also
yeah.
very
Powering.
little like in this film. The songs didn't take the story anywhere. There was
No.
only one
It was
song
just-
in the whole movie where
just
like
about
the
the scene.
characters changed from the beginning of the song to the
Yeah.
end. Like all of the songs were just.
There was no
statements.
villain in the movie. Who was the villain in this movie?
I mean,
There-
Themselves.
Stone Giants?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
wall.
Well,
the
technically,
dam.
Themselves.
Yeah.
Themselves.
No, there was no villain.
Yeah.
It's just like,
Truth.
who are we fighting? It's just like going
The
deeper in the
truth.
bar.
The lie. The
God.
lie is the
Oops.
The
villain.
lie.
Here's
the
a
lie was
song.
the villain.
Yeah.
Well,
lie.
technically, it's the grandpa. The grandpa is the
Yeah, but
villain
that was in the
caused it all.
past.
Yeah.
Yeah, but his army was still fighting for him, like for
Yeah.
fucking years
that
and
was
years and
hilarious.
years
the
and years.
lie. It is the lie. That
Didn't you
is
guys-
the villain.
Yeah, didn't you guys love that the guard all of a sudden just come out of hiding
Marquise?
and
Oh yeah.
run into the villagers at the exact right time
Oh
for the
yeah.
first
Oh,
time
yeah.
in 30 years?
The battle. No, I think the wait. Was it
No,
the
I think
first time
they,
in 30
like-
years, or is
No.
the battle just raging and nobody
I
is
think,
dying?
I think it's just been like
Or
back and
aged.
forth, and they've kind of come to a conclusion
Yeah,
where they don't
it's
fuck with each
stagnant
other,
thing.
and
Because they
just,
aged.
So then why
yeah.
did they show
stand.
up there all of a sudden?
Because
maybe
they
Because no one
probably
cares,
heard
dude.
them. They
This is
heard
not a
them
movie
and
where
they
people
came
care.
They heard them?
in the middle. I don't know because they came from both sides. So
Yeah.
I don't know. There were so many things that I was just
Okay.
like, why? I didn't
All right.
understand
it's
why.
magical.
All right,
You
let's
have
talk-
to believe in the magic
let-
of Frozen.
Let's talk up to the big song that they
Into the
nominated
Unknown.
for the Oscar, Into the Unknown. This movie's Let
Is
It
that the
Go.
one where she was like in October or whatever?
That's
in that
where
area?
she was like things were spiraling
Yeah,
around her and she's
okay.
listening to the
Yeah.
wind and
Yeah.
acknowledging
She-
the wind.
Yeah, it takes her new fate.
Yeah. So leading up to that, they're all kind of just living in what Arendelle is what it's called?
Yes, Arendelle.
Yes, correct.
I love the little love story that they got with Kristoff and Anna and how
Hated
he's
it.
trying to propose the whole
Hated it.
time.
I do love that.
I thought it
That
was
terrible.
great.
It was the most generic thing you could ever think of. Just the guy who it's just he just won.
Yeah.
He's the good guy. He's the good guy, and the girl who's just up. Oh, just gets mad at
But
every
he like
little
says
thing.
all the wrong
Every
things.
little thing.
I realistically, when I was watching that, I was like, oh my God, if this was my significant other, no, I would
So-
reconsider that question. I'd be like, listen, you have, for starters, too many questions. Why is she questioning every little thing? Wouldn't that send huge
I
red
think
flag?
it was
I think
like,
I think Kristoff is an idiot.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, he's the one who literally sets up a whole engagement and doesn't tell her about it.
Yeah.
And
That
is
was
expecting
dumb.
the-
That was so
the-
stupid.
That was expecting the next person who walks up to be her for no reason.
Yeah.
We
But
are
this
lady-
so
Like,
out of
because
order,
writing-
but yes.
We're still out of
It-
order,
you-
but we're still on the
Still out of
engagement.
order.
We're still on the
Yeah.
engagement.
He got confused by the silhouette and he was like
Oh, yeah.
excited. He wanted
Yeah,
the whole thing.
but
and he
Yeah,
had
why-
this
so
movie
he figured-
sucks
See,
so
so
bad.
hey, Bill,
looking for him.
Hey, Bill, I feel like the whole time you're just going to try to, you're going to come up with a
Ben.
reason, but the movie didn't come up with these reasons. You know, like they left a lot of things out.
Into the unknown.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the first song. So right
Okay,
before,
let's try to stay
right- yeah.
chronologically. I have
All
no.
right, so right into the first
We're
song,
bouncing all over the place.
there is a voice in Elsa's head. That
Oh
she,
god, if I hear that tune again, I'm gonna throw someone through a window.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
If I hear that same thing.
so what
Don't
is? Explain to me what that is.
They said that was
Okay.
their mom.
It's the mom,
Mother.
It's the sound of the
And-
wind being brought over, right? It has to be.
but it's like the mom.
It is
It's the mom.
Oh, so she's
If
still
I
like
hear that
alive.
ever again, I'm fucking done. I will
No,
throw
it's
the
like-
computer out
it's
the
not-
Her
window.
mom passed, but her mom knows that she needs to like solve that problem, and that was her fate. That's why Elsa's like, I feel like my story's not done. I have something. I don't belong here. I belong somewhere else. And that's her mom calling her like, this is your fate. This is what you need to solve.
I think it was like fate. Fate's a good word. Like circumstances. The reason that like she was being called was because it needed to happen. Like
Yeah. She was the
So her mom is still
element.
alive.
Neil was the one.
Her
because
mom
it-
still exists.
No,
That's what we're saying.
Not her mom is still alive, but for some
No way.
reason there has been a way that these elements have
The spirit.
brought that call from
Magic.
the past.
Some way.
Future.
For some
It's
reason.
amazing.
Yeah.
For some
film.
reason,
Magic.
that's
It
It
left.
distracts you with song and dance.
The snow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, look at the talking snowman. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
look at him
So,
bumble
yeah.
around.
Yeah.
And ooh.
I remember
They
the
said
reason.
the call first happened when the war happened and he got saved. That was like the fog happened. That's when the call happened the first time. So the wind, like all the elements together were like, because the whole thing was that the mom saved the dad, and she only saved the dad because she brought them over into that truck of the car, which you see when Elsa gets to
the trunk of the car.
Like a bed of a truck.
Atalahan, I believe. It's Atalahan.
When she gets there and it shows the past, it shows that the mom like helps him into the truck, and the wind is what saves them.
Okay.
But the elements grant them at that point with the fifth element, which will be Elsa.
Correct.
Elsa and Anna, the bridge between elements or like the magic elements and humans.
So why is it that Elsa
bridging?
Okay. So why is it that Elsa is the only one that can hear this voice, along with
the lizard can,
along with the salamander?
Because they reference the salamander. I don't know why, but it was the fire element, right? And like I'm telling you, the elements just because of fate, because it needed to happen.
Because
the
of
elements
fate,
here, because of just needed to happen. You know,
they needed to come together.
The elements. It's because they're both elements. She is an element. She was the fifth element. You know, the rest of them.
What about? I thought Anna was one of these things.
No,
I thought she was important.
No. She has no powers. Also, let's talk about that. Why the fuck doesn't she have powers?
She's part of the bridge because they're like the bridge to
the mom has two daughters.
Yeah, there's
two
sides of a bridge. Yeah,
it would have been better if they were twins.
They loop it back around, and I love it. It's like the circle of life. I enjoy.
Every movie does that, Russell.
Into the Unknown is a bad
Every
song.
movie does that. Hey, Bale.
But it feels so powerful. Let me bring up this picture because it is the feeling. You're just like.
Oh my god!
Oh, how did you do that so fast?
So stupid.
I can hear that photo.
So
I can hear that photo.
They're so bad, and the whole scene is terrible too. And it just comes out of nowhere, and then all of a sudden she just it doesn't make any sense, and then she's just going to run. No,
this movie went nowhere. They're like, we got to go in the Mystic Forest. Okay.
All of a sudden, they're just like, get him out of here.
Yeah,
get him out.
Okay, let me tell you this. The first time I watched it, I was like, I'm not really digging the music. I loved like the story, but I didn't dig the music. And I was like, I'm a fan of the first movie's music. I am a fan of Let It Go. And then the second time around, I really like listened to the songs, and I was like, oh damn, like you're like not just the lyrics, but the background music and how it makes you feel and how it like draws your emotions to like
this is called like Stockholm syndrome.
The world.
Disney right now.
Watched it,
Disney has cuckolded you.
Third time,
and you're just watching it happen.
Played it on my Spotify over and over.
Oh, this is terrible.
I am addicted. Not only that, like Lost in the Woods when all the reindeer are singing behind Kristoff.
So bad. So bad.
I will tell you what. Honestly,
so
I really
powerful.
thoroughly enjoyed this movie first time around, and then like a day after, I listened to the soundtrack, and there's like a huge instrumental of just like all of like the movie compilation, right? Like the actual just movie music, and it is so good.
Yeah, but
I watched it a second time, and I didn't like it as much as the first time I watched.
That's different. That's 100% based on a movie's budget and who they can get composing it and stuff like that. So the composing team who did this film also did the first Frozen, or they did Let It Go. They also did songs from Coco. It's a husband and wife duo. The husband has done episodes of The Simpsons. He's done things for the Book of Mormon, so like
that's a great
I don't think that we should base this film's rating on the soundtrack. Like, I mean, or at least let me take that back before you attack me for it.
I'm not going to attack you. I agree with you.
The what's the word? The original soundtrack, the background songs, not the main songs, not the big songs with Kristen Bell singing and shit like that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that we're judging.
Yeah, no. I think the soundtrack, they did a great job with it because that's what they were doing.
Yeah.
But the story was absolute shit.
Okay.
But I do think that you have to credit even the popular songs, right? Like you have to credit everything to the movie. I mean, I know that they had such a huge budget, but it's like a part of the movie, regardless of who did. I mean, like if one composer did a movie that
the songs were good. That's fine.
I think that, sorry to interrupt, but like I think I listened to literally just the soundtrack, not the popular songs, and it was great. Like I was like reading a book to it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, the soundtrack is good. I'm talking about the movie. It was horrible.
You could literally do that with any movie. That's what I'm saying. Like
you could read a
fucking movie, any fucking movie with a budget. You can read a book to the background sound and be like, "Oh my gosh, this is amazing."
You can watch The Last Jedi and be like, "That was the best movie ever." Listen to the music.
If you judged a movie based on the background songs, then movies would get much better ratings because
I think it's more than just the background songs. I think a lot of it is that Dina Menzel freaking just killing it, Like she is
movie, man. All she has to go is,
she is Elsa.
What?
Okay, so after
feel like I can be Elsa.
After
I know who I'm gonna be for Halloween
Elsa
this year.
Voiced by
Dina Menzel.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I think Elsa looks more like Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
She's blonde.
Maybe.
Okay.
True.
I thought I was mixing that up. I thought for some reason while watching the movie I was like, wow, this is crazy. That's Kristen Bell? I had no idea.
But I think for the songs it fits so well.
I think they did a great job.
So after the big song and dance, they go on their adventure to the enchanted forest, which has been locked in fog since the big battle happened that the father was telling the kids about.
Yeah,
correct.
So they go there. After leaving the town in the hands of the little trolls.
I love those guys.
That very smart decision to leave all of the people in charge of. Yeah,
I will.
I think they
everybody.
Background, and there was an old guy. He sounded wise. I don't know, as little as and cute as he was. I think I might have.
So I'm just blown away that the town doesn't have like
anything else.
Like they have to bring in all of these other rolling rock trolls to take care of a town. Like I'm very surprised. It's very.
Like, no, we don't trust any of our other people. We're gonna trust this tiny little rock guy.
Yeah,
he's cute.
They have a magic queen.
Yeah.
They have a magic queen whose magic has no limitations, by the way. She can do literally anything she imagines.
Made Olaf alive forever.
Yeah, Anna keeps standing in her way all the time.
Yeah,
and it's like, Anna, your sister has superpowers.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. She can go.
Yeah. How do you not understand this? The reason she was in the fire was because she's the ice queen. Are you kidding me? Oh, what do you mean she can take it? She's the fucking ice queen.
I can't leave her alone. It's like, no, you leave her alone.
Yeah, get the fuck out of the way.
Let her do that shit. Watching this movie reminds me why I stopped playing Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay.
Literally. Because I was like, I don't give a fuck.
Kingdom Hearts 3 was definitely an interesting part. I think I made Party Bear play this part of Kingdom Hearts 3 because we played it together.
I think that's the first Frozen though, isn't it? In Kingdom
Hearts. It is the first
Frozen.
It
might be the first Frozen, yeah.
Can we get it's the first version, but still, it's like I don't give a shit.
I wrote this down, and I really wanted to go to it. Before the elves come into it, they're like in the house, they're in their kingdom, and they're playing charades with like all the main Elsa and Olaf is killing it, and then Elsa gets up there, and they're trying to guess, and Olaf is guessing back to back to back. I don't know if anyone noticed it, but there's a
hidden Mickey
Mulan reference. He goes, Huns. He referenced the Huns in it. I don't think anyone noticed it, but I did.
No, I didn't watch Olaf that much. Whenever I saw him on screen, I was like, oh. My favorite character was Sven the Moose, because you know why? He never talked.
He's a reindeer.
No, he sang.
Yeah, sorry.
He sang, which made me not like him.
He did sing.
He sang.
Yeah, that's true. He did sing.
Or was it Kristoff?
No, I actually really enjoyed how funny it was how Kristoff gives them voices, and then he meets that other guy, Ryder, and he also gives them voices.
It's so
honestly,
cringy.
I got
cringy.
some vibes from it, and I was like, yes, kiss, kiss, kiss.
Okay.
So
Not
bad.
like
Okay,
So-
I want to get back on track to where Earthworm left off because
Where the
I
Enchanted
also
Please.
yes, and I have a big question for Haybale that ties into this Enchanted Forest part. So they all get into the Enchanted Forest, and then all of a sudden, I can't remember why, but they're all split up for some reason. Correct?
Oh
Is that-
God, I can't.
Is that right when they enter? And then Olaf
Someone
is
shoots
I
down
think
Ribbon.
I think only Olaf splits off. I think everyone else is
Okay.
together.
No,
Olaf gets lost.
with Anna, because they go down
When he-
that
He's by himself, and in
that
two,
ice
Olaf's
that
by
ice
himself.
boat.
he's by himself, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Q's my favorite song in the entire movie.
Okay,
which
yes.
is
So
When
he's
I'm
singing
Older.
this song. He's singing this song, correct? And
I love that song.
there's a big reference to the popular meme. Did anyone catch that? The "This Is Fine" meme, where he like the song ends and he goes, "This is fine," like and that meme where it's like the dog in the burning room. There's a big reference to that meme. And then, but in the song is the first time you see this underwater horse, which I don't understand. And
it's trying to drown Elsa.
No, I'm talking now. Hey, Bale, if you like this movie, you need to fucking explain this piece of shit horse that makes no goddamn sense.
Any sense.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank you.
I think
Thank
they
you.
tried to sum up something that's because when you think of with the water, you probably think fish or like something aquatic. And I think Disney wanted to jump outside the box, and they were like, you know what's funny? Because it's the Dead Sea. It's a seahorse.
No, they just
It's an elemental
they
seahorse.
just wanted her to ride a horse. So they're like, we're gonna find a way to put a horse in.
Like
It's
they
so
had to make it
bad.
that much extra.
No.
But with animation, it totally worked.
It's to tie it back to Ninja Turtles. It's literally to sell toys. It's literally to put Elsa
that's the
on a
salamander.
horse.
That little salamander.
Yeah,
that's
that's a
exactly what I was
salamander.
gonna say. Exactly.
Well, the horse too. Now she has a horse.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
They're
And so
making random new characters.
Right before we get into the Enchanted Forest, there's one other scene that I think is important. Is the just like over the head exposition that Olaf does when they're going and he's like reading all these random facts.
Yeah.
Because now he's now intelligent
Yes.
and he wants to learn more. And he says all these facts, but he says one that isn't a fact at all. And then that's like the crux of the entire film is that water has memory.
What? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And so the whole
It doesn't
movie
make
is
sense.
based on water having memory, which is just something that is in these films. So now, I mean, it's just.
But is it?
I never saw the first one.
Does some girl get ice powers? You know, it's like you have to implant yourself in the world of Arendelle.
I agree.
No, but fire doesn't have a special quality. Ice doesn't have a special quality. But for whatever reason, water is this thing that has this special quality that isn't referenced in the movie before. That is just, it is such like they're like, they ran into this problem later in the story. They're like, how the fuck are they going to find out all of the exposition later in the film? Okay, a snowman. People like snowmen in this film. Okay, so how are we going to make that? Okay, she uses her ice powers to make the snowman. That makes a lot of sense. But how does she know that? Water has memory. Did you? And then how do we get that in the
horse
film?
They probably got there because they're like recycled. The water is always recycled. It's throughout the whole world. It's always recycled. So it's probably gone through so many different,
through the rivers
things. And
So
they
why?
probably got there from being.
Why does the water and all of these specific things have this such when it's gone through a million lifetimes? It's this one moment that it always remembers. There's never a moment where they try to make something out of ice and it's a mistake because it goes through many lifetimes. But
I think it's drawn to the like what she wants, like like her inner working is like she wants to find the truth. So when she meets Gale for the first time and they get swooped up in the tornado and she has to like, I think in
for the
movie,
for the audience, hey Belle, one moment. Gale is wind.
Bunch of leaves.
The wind
Is some wind. So continue.
And so she whips him up, and then Elsa's got to like freeze her way out. But I think it's like her like calming the wind, being like, this is like, I have the power, like you need to calm down. And then the wind's like, oh, like you're magical, we're best friends. I freaking forgot where I was going with that.
I think there's man, it's just I think there's merit to hold with the whole water having memory thing. The other elements, I mean, it makes sense that it's a horse because she has to like tame these other elements. I mean, utilize the other elements for the storyline.
What elements?
The fire, wind, water.
She doesn't
earth.
have to tame. She doesn't have to tame.
She doesn't have to tame the giants, but they have to utilize the giants.
Yeah, that was my problem with that theory.
But she doesn't. Her sister does.
Yeah,
it's true.
And she doesn't tame them. She scares them into hitting the dam.
It's utilizing. Yeah. It's utilizing.
She doesn't tame anything. She goes, "Oh, that worked."
But it's ultimately, I think, because
so
it needed
much
to
film.
happen.
Yeah. No, of course it needs to happen. Like that's what all this film is like. We need to make this point happen. So fuck all of the rules. We're just gonna make something up. Water has memory.
Like, it's fantasy.
Olaf, when he dies, he just becomes this pile of snow under a waterfall miles away.
That's weird.
And then he comes back. And then he comes back at the end.
That did not make sense.
And then Elsa does this power, and he comes back. He flies back.
It's magic. It's magic.
Yeah, that was weird.
It's
Frozen and Frozen 2 suck.
Okay.
I've never.
Fucking great.
Am I the only one who hasn't seen the first one?
I've never
No,
seen
I never watched the first one. I did not watch the first one.
I can't judge the first one, but I will say that this movie is awful. This
Thank
movie is
you.
awful.
It's bad.
I think
Dude,
it was
it's
a
bad.
step up from the first one, so you probably wouldn't like the first one.
Oh no.
Oh, if it's worse than this one, oh shit.
Oh. Okay.
God knows.
So we got to move quickly, but they make it to the Enchanted Forest.
Okay.
They're able to get in, and how did they get in again? I'm trying to remember. How
They
did
just
get
run in. Don't they just run in?
They run and get bumped off.
She
They
gets
were
there.
with
She
Elsa.
gets there.
Yeah,
Elsa is
uses
the key.
her like Elsa calms the
Elsa is the
freaking
key.
fog, and they walk through and get locked in.
Okay,
So yeah, they
then-
just walk their asses right in.
and then
She
they
walks
meet-
her ass right in.
and then they meet the village of people that have been living there for forever, that have been in conflict with the royal guard of Arendelle. And
I think they probably have to
and
do a living agreement.
explain it to me. So have they been fighting for the past, let's say, 25 years?
I don't think so. I think that they've maybe just like, we draw a line. This is your side. This is our side, probably. I would imagine that's what
So
it
then
is.
when they came together, were they ready to fight them?
It was very confusing. I'm not sure. Maybe it
I
was right
think
on that
they
line.
were probably anticipating the other side coming to attack them because nothing's happened.
But they ran up to the village.
They're like banging on their shield with their swords.
Oh.
And they're like, yeah.
Oh,
that
that's
was
the
later on.
animation that I
on.
was like, oh, they tried to save some money, is when they do the shield animation, they all do it at the exact same time, in the exact same way. I'm like, oh god, and there's only like 3 of them.
Yeah.
And this movie made over $1 billion. Hello.
So they meet the village, and they all kind of find their counterparts that make them happy, and then Elsa decides to continue on. I'm trying to even remember how we get to the next part.
Okay, so first off, there's a whole recap in the second movie where Olaf does his big monologue.
I love that.
And I think it is so
cringy.
hilarious.
It's so funny.
How fast it goes from up to down.
Yeah.
And it really does tell the story if you
Their
see
parents
the first
are dead.
movie.
It
Definitely doesn't make sense if you haven't seen the movie because it goes by so fast. But if you've seen the first movie, it is freaking hysterical because
I loved it.
Nail on the head, the exact recap of the whole first movie.
I did
all
like
the
that
exciting
scene.
parts.
Look at Earthworm right now. Look what you did to him.
I'm tired of pushing back. I thought it was terrible.
But
Thank you.
right after he does that, that's when the lady, they are like, oh, we believe in the elements, and then the fire ignites,
right,
and then they all scatter.
That's when they just magically stop. They just decide that they're not mad anymore because
has that thing not been there since she got there, like that salamander?
Okay. No, this is what happened. Let me recap. So they're in the forest. They see each other after 20-something years, and they're fighting. We've all agreed that they are still fighting. because they are still fighting somehow.
It's kind of
and then the salamander comes out and burns everything down. She says they believe in the elements, everything burns down, and then Elsa puts everything out with her ice powers, and then the people are like, oh, like magic, ooh, magic, oh, magic, and then they're just like magically not mad at each other anymore, and they're like, well, what are we gonna do now? And like,
well, I think it was like
they're all homies, yeah.
Elsa is like, I am gonna clear the fog. I'm gonna like break you guys free, and that's when they're like, we have to work together. At that point.
Okay, so she broke the dam, but then stopped the wave from hitting their city.
Okay, all right. We're gonna get there.
I'm sorry. I just I got Elsa triggered. I'm sorry.
Okay, so Elsa and I think we've talked about the whole engagement thing. Do we have to go through that?
No.
We could not have to cover
this week. Russell said they thought they were a gay couple.
Yeah,
I would have much preferred that.
Let me repeat this.
Christoph was gonna go with Ryder, and that was the love story I wanted to see.
What were they called?
I will say Ryder was so annoying.
Northaldrins.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was his counterpart, right? Ryder?
Yes.
Okay.
Ryder, yeah.
Okay. So
he was hottie.
Anna and Elsa are in a fight.
Sort of.
And Elsa tells Anna, I'm not gonna be able to take you. So what I'm gonna do to you is I'm going to send you flying down a hill.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I guess just hope you don't.
Her
die.
powers are endless because did she take the track all the way through?
So she just lives like, bye.
But right before that is when they found their mom and dad's ship.
Yeah.
And she used the water's memory, and it showed her.
Water has memory.
But if you listened, it was her parents, and they were like, "We need to do this for Elsa," and then it was like, "We're too big."
There's a waterproof compartment.
But
that was so bad. That is filmmaking. I mean, it's like student filmmaking.
Yeah.
Where you're like,
it's a kids movie.
How do we get?
I agree.
There are better kids movies than Frozen 2.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Way more intelligent.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
I'm sorry.
Revenge of the Ooze or whatever it's called.
Revenge of the Ooze, Mystery of the Ooze, or something.
Secret of the Ooze. Yeah. Okay, but that's one of those things where we don't need that. We don't need this. There are better ways in a story than a random secret compartment that has nothing to do with anything. Like there's no setup for it. It's like
he even made a
and then
joke,
it doesn't come back.
I never thought any of these characters. I never thought any of these characters would ever die, or get hurt. Any of the 4 or 5 main characters of Frozen 2.
Yeah,
what happened to them? It was just them being like, oops.
There's no conflict, really.
Conflict.
The main conflict is that the sisters are fighting, and then it looks like it's frozen for
but they're both doing cool things.
4 minutes.
It's not against each other. They just keep doing cool stuff.
Elsa leaves. Yep. And does her whole wave thing that's in the trailer where she's running up to the waves, shooting at it.
That hurt me so much. I was like, man, if I was a child, I'd be like, Mommy, what the fuck?
And then all of a sudden the horse comes out, and we're now dealing with her taming a water horse.
Well, this was, you forgot to mention that she was trying to run across the ocean, right?
Yes, she's trying to run across the ocean to this island that she...
Yes.
That's where the voice is coming from.
Right.
Yeah. She can do so much better with her powers, man. It made me just want her to be like Frozone from Incredibles 2. Like, you need to get it together.
That's what I was thinking.
You haven't seen that? Come on.
But so the whole thing with the Alohalan, Atohaken, whatever that freaking frozen glacier river is that it's being protected by the elements, I'm pretty sure that, or like that water spirit. And so that's why the parents died, is because that horse took them down, because that's the job of the horse. And the only person that could tame that horse is the freaking 5th element, Miss Elsa, with her powers. And so,
but the mom was a superhero too.
No, she wasn't. She didn't have powers. The only reason she was flying around was because of Gale. Gale made her look like she had powers in the beginning of the movie. You thought she was magical, and that's how Elsa got her powers. But it was Gale that was like playing with her in the wind.
Yeah, it was like in the beginning, the dad was like, yeah, the tribe just took advantage of the elements. They weren't necessarily magical.
Yeah.
It still isn't connecting the dots. So Gail was her mom's friend, and they teamed up
Sort of.
and fought people.
They didn't fight anybody.
And then all of a sudden, this random woman that knows this wind has a child that has ice powers.
No, it's because because it's the elements that play a bigger role. It's like Mother Nature needing these things needed to happen, right? It's like in the moment,
God, you're just explaining
the daughter or the mom was like at the right place at the right time. She did the right thing. She saved this little boy, even though like it was. So
she didn't know the wind before this?
No.
Like she just showed up there?
The elements. The tribe took advantage of the elements. They just like at the time the wind did what needed to be done. I mean, because she was doing what needed to be done and helped her. It wasn't like she had control. It was just like this needed to be done, so the wind helped her in that little act. In that act needed to happen for this to work out. And the act of making Elsa with superpowers also needed to happen because there's this fog, like Haybale was saying, like this lie is the fog, right? Like everyone thinks that this dam is a good thing and that no one knows the answer. Like, why did the fight ever break out, you know? And Elsa needed to have her power. I mean, like, I don't know if she didn't necessarily need to have powers.
The universe made it happen.
The universe made it happen. The elements, Mother Nature, it needed to happen in this way. Yeah.
Oh God! Here it goes. I'm about to throw this fucking computer through the window if I hear that shit again. They use that sound like 45 times.
And I gotta say, it is terribly mixed. Like that sound effect never mixes with the song at all. It feels like two completely different recording sessions.
You can hear it
every
time they do it. Every time they do it.
It does not sound good.
They bring it in to show yourself, and it works.
It does fit.
What, to show yourself? What do you mean?
Yeah, when she gets to the island, she brings it back up, and she's like calling it, and then she's running through the tunnel with the light, and she's like chasing it through.
I think we're talking about two different things, but that's okay.
No. The song that her mom sang from forever ago, and
I was talking about the audio quality was bad.
Oh. You're not saying the key of the song itself.
No, I think the song was recorded and mixed terribly.
That's why I think it was made to be a musical. You could definitely see them being.
I don't know. So, that is the reason that is made.
Frozen 2, the musical.
The best song in the whole movie, in my opinion, was the reprise, I guess, of the main song. I thought it was way better than the other one because it actually melded those sounds together, and it actually had a story point where she actually learned something in the middle of the story. Where all the other songs are just statements. Yeah. They just needed to pad a scene to make it longer. Is what it felt like all the other songs were. I think from a story standpoint.
Which song are you talking about?
It's the remix.
It's the one where she learns everything.
Of the first song, or the main song, which is.
I thought the set, the actual design of the set was bad. Like it's not that exciting that she's bringing pillars down and they aren't even breaking, and then everything is just kind of 2-dimensional in all of these things. I didn't really like that.
It was very Kingdom Hearts.
She's not pulling them down. She's pushing them
raising
up.
them. She's raising them.
Yeah, she's raising them up because they
works for me. Works for me.
They were blocking the way, and she fix it.
Yeah.
So
even less exciting than breaking things.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes more sense that she's picking these up. She's moving them out of her. It's great.
It's very exciting the way they shot it, wide shot. Mm-hmm. It's a very bland room. It's just ice and a pillar goes up in this beautiful, amazing song.
It's multiple pillars.
Okay, so really the whole movie is Elsa, really, the first movie is about her accepting that she has powers, and the second movie is her embracing it and really testing her limits and seeing what she can do. Yeah. So really, when she gets to that frozen lake, everything she does is everything she's learned from making steps and jumping and leaping to sliding to
Dude, this is the same shit. This is the same shit that happened with Rey in Rise of Skywalker. She goes over the big waves and everything, and she can just do it because no one knows how she can, but she's doing it. And now
because you see in the beginning of the movie, the dude scares her and she freezes.
Jolts.
And like she's like still not fully control of her powers, but by the end of the movie, she has like
Total control.
she has become that element, that whole transformation where her hair is down and she has this new white, sparkly, freaking fancy dress with sheer. Oh God!
I didn't like
that
how her
was
dress,
it.
her. I don't like how her outfit changed. I think that is like, is it made out of ice? You know,
I didn't even notice.
I didn't even notice either.
Her outfit changed. It was more white than blue now.
I did not even notice. I gave 0 shits when I watched this movie.
So the dam breaks and there's a giant wave coming.
Okay, all right.
Okay, I think we're getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Let's just quickly jump to that. So she has the whole scene where she figures it out, and Elsa dies or gets frozen.
She gets frozen.
She gets frozen.
I can't remember how she gets unfrozen.
Yeah,
she went too far down. She went too far out.
No. She's talking about how unfrozen. How did Elsa get unfrozen?
It was Mother Nature.
Yeah, it's the random.
No, it was the climax of the movie.
It's the reason. It's the unnamed thing that controls everything. Is the universe in this film never talked about?
Yes, that's what it is.
Oh yeah.
Fate. It's the universe.
It's like the Force in Star Wars, but they never say the Force.
It's exactly. It's the Matrix. It is.
But they talk about the Matrix in the Matrix.
Oh. Yeah,
you're talking about fate, and none of that's never talked about.
That's a good point.
The elements.
Yes.
I mean,
it's Star Wars without the Force being mentioned.
To happen.
Yeah.
It was guided by the elements. They needed it to happen, and it was guided that way. But it was not set in stone, because when those rock elf dudes from the beginning, they were like, we can't see the future of Arendelle because it's at risk. You have to solve the problem.
So convenient. So convenient.
If they broke the dam without knowing the consequences,
the whole movie is about a dam.
A lot of things could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
So the whole movie's about a dam, and you find out that they got into this fight way before because there was a dam, and then they wanted to break the dam. Or
the dam was broken by the villains of the movie. It makes no sense.
No, not the villains.
No, I don't know what you're talking about, John Boy.
The stone giant.
No, we're talking about why the war happened.
The war happened because the real villain of the movie, who doesn't exist anymore, is the ghost's grandpa.
It's the lie
you see him on this weird island thing for briefly, and you see why. That's where you see him lie and killing a dude. But anyway, so he's the one who built this dam, and then it's holding up a waterfall. Is that what it's holding up? I don't understand.
I don't know. That did not make sense to me.
The dam is on the edge of a cliff, and there's it's like a river. It's not like a big body of water.
No, exactly. It doesn't even look like the water was raised up.
Hey, everyone!
It's literally,
look how funny the little snowman guy is. Focus there.
I know. Yeah.
Don't care about the story.
Yeah.
Laugh at him.
So she's running. And then Anna is running across this bridge and screaming at these giants, and they're throwing boulders, and the boulders are breaking the dam as she's running across it somehow. And there's other people on it too.
Yeah.
And then just then nature unfreezes Elsa, and she comes riding on this horse.
Yeah.
And
the water horse.
She's riding on this water horse, and then she makes all the water just disappear. It just
disappear.
It just gets smaller and smaller and disappear. Okay. And you know what? None of this could have happened. None of this could have happened if 20 minutes ago.
They didn't do anything.
And if 20 minutes ago in the movie they didn't bring up the fact, water has memories. So if water has memories, where the fuck did all this water go?
Yeah, water.
And what is it? Yeah, water. It has memories and it just disappears.
It's just this movie is about anything that's convenient. We have to do it because the songs are the most important thing in this film.
Disappear.
Yeah.
I did not like that. I do understand where they were trying to get with what happened to the water, because I did watch it twice. The first time I watched it, I was like, what on earth happened to the water? But the second time, it's the sacrifice of, you know, like Elsa dying and them breaking the dam. Just that, and then that's what dissipated the waters. The same force that gave Elsa her powers. You know, the sacrifice that was made back then.
You're speaking gibberish. You're speaking complete gibberish.
I don't know.
Like the elements
gives
have
you none
like
of
come
that.
together to really absorb back that water.
No,
It,
this is okay. All right.
It's not answered. It's like a miracle.
No, the whole movie. So
Right.
it all ends with everything is back. Elsa takes over a village from the old lady. Is a total power coup over there.
Yeah.
Now Elsa's in charge of the
She is
village.
now the queen.
And Anna is now in charge of.
Yeah, they
Arendelle.
fucking took over both kingdoms.
And there you go.
Wow, they're
Yep.
sneaky.
There's everything there. So
and
They
then,
are
but
the bridge between both of the elements
Ooh,
and
true.
the Arendelians.
like a
That's
poem.
why they are the bridge. That's why they are the gift. That's why they are the
okay, but
Yeah.
what does that have to? I don't even know what that really has to do with anything. Like nothing. It doesn't solve anything in the story.
Nope, it doesn't.
It's just a
It
random thing they
solves
bring up
the
right at the
problem.
end.
That
Like
was
Anna doesn't have
literally-
anything to do with anything in the story. They just give her this gift right at the end, like
Yep.
you're special. We
Well,
don't.
no,
there's
because
nothing to
she-
prove it, but you're special.
like
She
she's
did some brave
royalty. She's
things.
from the royal family, and
It's true.
Elsa couldn't be at both places because Elsa was meant to be in North Uldra
why?
or
Because they have
Atahakalin
more
Why?
magical elements there. She
But
is the
why?
because
fifth-
she's the fifth element. That's where she belongs. In the whole song,
So,
Into
why-
the Unknown, she knows she's not meant to be in Arendelle.
Yes, it's
That
true.
was
Why?
the whole thing.
Because
Because
she is,
she's the
she is
fifth
magic.
element that
No.
belongs.
But
in-
why doesn't she belong in Arendelle? Like, what is the feeling inside of her? What is showing us that she doesn't belong in a city of humans?
I think it's all those
just
crystals
It's
that
not-
magically appear.
What's telling her that she doesn't belong? It's what she feels inside. It's
But
as
when?
if I'm like, I hate
How?
Arizona. I don't belong here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move. I
But you
need to
must
move.
have had an event that showed you that Arizona wasn't the right place for you. Like,
No,
Elsa
I just
doesn't have
feel
that
it in my
event.
heart because I
It's just
miss you.
random.
Nothing here in
Yeah.
Arizona happened. It's because I miss you guys.
I
I
love
wanna
this. Is
move
you're correct.
back.
I agree. I
Absolutely
It's
agree.
how
not.
I feel inside.
this is so
Yeah.
She
bad.
I
doesn't
agree.
know
All right.
what out there. You know.
I
Okay.
agree.
No. So let's end this for God's sake.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Favorite scene.
Yeah. Okay. So let me
Party
say.
bear. Party
Wait,
bear.
can I go back?
No,
Can we
please,
backtrack
God, don't
really
start
No,
with
we're
me.
not going back
Oh,
anymore.
God!
We're not
Really
going back
quick,
anymore.
really quick. This is important because this
not.
is something that needs to be covered and needs to be said. Haybale, I'm throwing you under the bus. I know that I'm on your side out of this whole group with the movie, but I am throwing you under the bus with this
So bad.
because this is something that I noticed, and I'm sure everyone's going to say something about because this is in the movie, and now you are exposed. Your fact for one of the courtrooms was stolen from this movie, Haybale. You stole your fact from this movie.
Yes. Turtles
Okay.
breathe out of their
They did.
anus.
Olaf.
Yes,
It's Olaf.
they do say that.
Fact.
They
It's
say
Olaf's fact.
turtles can breathe out of their butts.
It's like, oh,
Exposed.
they
When I saw that, I was like, "Fucking
My-
God
South-
damn it! God damn it! It's Haybale."
Exposed.
yeah.
Exposed.
Look at me.
Is that where
Okay.
you got it from?
Okay,
Yeah.
party
No,
bear.
I
Party bear.
just saw this movie this week.
Party
Oh,
bear.
gosh.
Favorite scene.
Do I really have to pick? Do I have to pick a favorite scene?
You don't. I'm gonna pick my least favorite.
I liked the visual effects of the salamander thing, like lighting all the trees on fire and shit like
That
that.
was
I thought
cool.
that was kind of cool.
Neat.
That was an interesting effect. Did you guys also notice that the water looked almost real when it was rushing in before it almost destroyed Arendelle? Water looked crazy. Like she
It's
looked
the
in
same as
water-
Rise of Skywalker. It looks the exact same.
I thought
Well,
the waves.
well-
I thought the waves, like when she was trying to run across the ocean, looked better. I thought that was kind of like the best water in the movie, in my opinion.
That
I don't know.
that
It was
scene.
just
That scene before the horses, my favorite scene. Like before
Mhm.
the horse came in, that's when it got bad for me. But
Yeah.
I enjoyed her fighting the waves. I was very
The
interested. It
horse was
actually
trying
had,
to choke her.
actually had action and purpose, and her character was fighting.
Yeah.
John Boy, favorite scene.
Oh Lord, this is tough for me because I really hated every single part of this film. Absolutely every.
You don't have to
single
give an
part.
answer.
If I had to choose, if I had to watch one scene over again, I would probably choose when the tornado was trying to attack them, only because, like Party Bear said, the leaves kicking up and stuff. It looked really nice, but Besides that, fuck this movie.
Dak,
Fuck it.
favorite scene?
I think that my favorite scene involved my favorite character as well, which was
I'm so
Olaf.
happy that we haven't talked about Olaf really at all.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm very happy about that.
I think he was the silver lining to this movie, which I did enjoy overall, but did think that there are many problems. But my favorite scene, hands down, had to be When I Am Older. The song, it was perfect. It was beautiful. There was a moment right before he started singing where he was wondering, like, who should he question, right? All these people. He's like, is it Anna? Is it Elsa? Is it Samantha? And he was like, wait, I don't know a Samantha. And then, like, you know, the song continues. The first thing, like, this giant pit opens up. He looks down and he goes, Samantha. You know, and it's just so funny. Oh, my God. The whole scene was so funny. And I just loved the motto through the whole thing. Like, everything is just going wrong and all these crazy things are happening. But you know what? Overall, he's totally fine. And I just loved that. I thought that was my favorite scene of the whole movie.
Growing up a song, like, this is like, we have no idea what we're doing and why it's happening, but we're still gonna just keep on moving.
Yeah, it's like the keep on swimming, you know, motto.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Definitely not overused. All right, Haybale, please give us your favorite scene.
Definitely the whole, like, okay, right? Not the whole part of Into the Unknown, but from the part where she's on her balcony and she starts to just like let her power. She's like letting the call take her, and everything is like magically created. It's like foreshadowing like crazy. It paints like the reindeer running and the big rock giants. But the way it happens, it reminds me of like the electric parade, like just kind of the magic of it, how it just is so creative, like how the lights, like how her powers swirl and form, and how it creates whatever she wants, and it gives us like, it makes me literally hope that magic is like somehow real in the world. But like it like grew my heart. It changed me as a person. I feel like I've had the best week of my life. Is it because I watched this movie? I am going into the unknown, and I'm ready to just do the next right thing, you know, because who knows what's gonna happen. I
need more Haybale in my life.
Like the one general said, like, once things like get going for you, like life's gonna like whip it up and change it. It's not gonna be what you want it to be. So it's that whole song is just like, yeah, like let's just do shit. I loved it. I think that like really brought it home for me.
I'm
awesome.
really happy. I'm really happy for
awesome.
you. Okay, we're
Should
now
we
going to give.
Do you want me to close it out
scores.
with final grades? Okay.
So let's start with.
I'll start.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to give our final grades. Honestly, mine out of 10. 2. Okay. The only redeeming quality out of it was how great it looked, but besides that, it was annoying. Nothing happened. Okay. It was just a grab bag of, hey, can I get more money? Can we sell toys? So I'm gonna give this a 2.
Were you a child?
Haybale, what is your score?
My score is a freaking 10 out of 10. If I can, I'm giving it an 11 or a 12. Like, this movie had everything for me. Comedy, it brought me to tears. It brought me along. Man, I feel like I'm an Arendelian and I just got freaking saved by Elsa. I was there for the freaking wave. It transported me, man. I'm a Disney fan to heart, and I think they knocked it out of the ballpark with this one. Sold.
Party Bear?
It's a 2 for me as well. I couldn't go all the way down because I really hope we watch worse movies than this, to be honest. Because this one was trying so goddamn hard. Yeah. And I think next we got to find one that's not trying at all. That is just like, they had to make it fast. That's what we need to watch next. Yeah. So
there's a lot of money put in this movie.
Yeah. It's a 2 for me, dog.
Okay, Dak.
Oh my God. That's because you don't have a second movie.
Dak, what do you think?
Okay, I think This is a really tough one for me because there's a lot of good messages in this movie. I think ultimately as much bad as there is in this movie because it just like tied a bunch of like, of different, there are different schemes to making this movie, but a lot of messages were in this. I mean, realistically, I just wanted her to be a waterbender, and I kind of just wanted her sister to be like an earthbender. It would, for some reason, like make sense to me. I just wanted that instead of what. For some reason, like, why the fuck doesn't Anna have powers? Like, that's just fucked up, and I would be so pissed if I was her. But ultimately, besides all that, I think I mean, there was good music to it, and I really enjoyed Olaf. There were some funny parts, and I think that outweighs. With the good visual effects, I think ultimately I'm going to give it a 6.
Okay.
Yeah, that's low too.
It's pretty low because there's a lot of things. Like, for instance,
it's
like,
not a good movie at all.
It's still way better than, I mean, I think it's a good rating. There's problems with this movie that I didn't like because I don't like musicals. For starters, I don't watch musicals. This is fucking bullshit.
Me neither.
But
yeah.
There's some good stuff. I like this. I did like this movie.
You'll understand it when you're older.
Yeah.
It'll make sense when I'm older. I love.
When you're in your 60s, you're gonna like that. You're gonna like it.
It's not failing. I gave it a D. It's not failing. Everyone else is gonna fail it, so it's fine.
All right, Party Bear. What was your score? What was your score
2.
again? It was a 2. Okay,
2.
perfect.
Yeah,
I did a 2 as well.
A 2, a 6, and probably a 1.
Yeah. No. I like when I try to put. I'm being fair with this.
Yeah,
it had good music.
It did.
And I'm gonna and it was animated by professionals.
Yeah.
Great. I'm really proud of them. Honestly, I gave Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Secret of the Ooze. I believe I gave that a 2. So I'm gonna give
which
this a 2.
was. Wait, you're gonna give what? Sorry, say that again. I didn't want to interrupt you.
You gave it a 2.
Yeah. And by the way, Jumbo, you can't interrupt technically because I'll just cut you out. So.
Okay.
But for
I thought you were gonna start over again.
Yeah. Yeah. So that gives a very fair score, I believe.
Wait, what was yours? What was
it? A 2.
6, 12, 10.
2.
That's a 22. It got 22.
That is 22 out of 50. I think that is a fair score for this film.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair.
That's almost 50%.
What? Yeah. What's our highest scored film? Is that on there?
That's
The Matrix.
That's absolutely The Matrix.
Really, The Matrix?
Oh, I would
actually no. Tron Legacy.
I thought Tron Legacy was the highest.
Yeah,
but
Reloaded and Tron Legacy way better. Oh
and now we have a better Disney film too because Tron Legacy is Disney.
Oh my
so
God!
It's like you can't even say that.
It has good music.
Yeah.
It has good action.
It's just cool. It's just cool. That's what I said.
Right.
I rewatched.
Right, we're gonna do
day.
another hour on Tron Legacy now.
You're afraid of your inner feminism.
I know. I really did like this movie. I thought this movie was pretty good.
Please,
did you really?
Yeah, I did.
All right,
dude, this movie was fucking shit.
This is the only one of the films we've watched are spoiled that I've watched twice before doing the podcast.
Wow, that says a lot more.
Wait, no, you've watched Tron Legacy more than twice.
Not before we did the podcast. When we decided this is the movie we're doing and we did the podcast, I only watched it once. Yeah.
All right. So, John Boy, close us out.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching this episode of Spoiled. I thought we had a good time. I think we all agree that this movie is...
It's amazing.
I don't think
100%.
I can agree with what you're about to say.
I'm not going to say this movie.
I don't really agree on anything with this film, but you should go watch it.
Yes.
Make the judgment for yourself.
If it gets lower than a 50%, we do not recommend. Salad Brain does not recommend Frozen 2.
It's a haybale. It's a big time haybale
recommend. I'm gonna be shooting out my next EP. I'm gonna be singing every song from Frozen 2, and you could get it on our fan page.
VHS. Thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of Spoiled by Salad Brain Productions. My name is John Boy.
I'm Party Bear.
I'm Earthworm.
I'm Dak.
And I'm Haybale. I'm the winner.
I will see you next time.